The wind was soft that morning as the sun touched the quiet village. Amina woke before everyone else. She always did. She would light the small lamp, whisper a prayer, and walk out to the open field. Her world was simple, but her dreams were far bigger than the fields around her. After her father died, life had changed. Her mother grew weak, and her little brother was too young to understand what struggle meant. Amina was only 17 when she decided that she would not let poverty write her story. She would fight it with faith. Every day she worked in the fields from sunrise to sunset. Her hands were rough, her clothes simple, but her eyes held light. She loved watching the children of the village running barefoot, chasing each other with laughter, but deep inside she felt pain. Those children had no school, no books, no future. She would sit under the old tree near her house and imagine a classroom full of smiling faces. One day she whispered to herself, "I will teach them. I don't know how, but I will." The next morning she gathered 5 children. She drew letters on the ground with a stick and began teaching. Her voice was calm, her heart steady. She had nothing to give except knowledge, but that was enough. Days passed, and the number of children grew. The sound of laughter and learning filled the air. People started calling her teacher Amina. Her brother once asked her, "Why do you work so hard for nothing?" She smiled and said, "Because one day knowledge will pay them back. They will grow strong and stand tall. They will change what we could not." That night she looked at the stars and promised herself that she would never stop. But life is never kind for too long. The summer brought dark clouds and heavy rain. The river near the village swelled and burst. The flood came like a monster. It took everything. The fields drowned, the houses collapsed. Her small home washed away with all her books and dreams. Her brother fell sick, and her mother wept. Amina sat on the ground with mud on her hands and tears in her eyes asking, why me, why, when all I ever did was try to do good?" When the rain stopped, the village was silent and broken. Then she heard a soft voice, "Teacher, will school start again?" She turned and saw 3 of her students standing barefoot, holding broken slates. They looked at her with hope, not fear. Amina wiped her face and felt something awaken inside her. Strength. She stood up and said, "Yes, it will start today." She picked up a stick and drew the first letter in the wet ground again. Word spread that the teacher who lost everything still taught under the sky. A reporter came from the city, wrote about her courage, and soon people began to help. A small charity sent books and wood, and together the villagers built a small classroom with their hands. It was not perfect, but it was real. For Amina, it was more beautiful than any palace built with gold. Years passed. The school grew stronger. The children learned to read, write, and dream. Amina's brother studied hard and became an engineer. He got a job offer in the city and came to her saying, "Abi, come with me. Leave this hard life behind." She looked at him gently and said, "My place is here. Comfort cannot replace purpose. You go and make a future for yourself. I will stay and make a future for them." Her brother hugged her with tears and said, "You gave me wings. Now let me help you fly." Together they built more rooms, added benches and lights, and slowly the school became the pride of the district. Amina grew older, but her spirit never aged. Every morning she would stand before her students, reminding them to believe in themselves, to never forget where they came from, to never let the world make them bitter. One winter morning she felt weak, but she still went to school. She stood in front of the children, her voice soft and trembling, "My children, the world will test you. You will fall, you will cry. People may forget your kindness, but never let your heart turn cold. Real strength is not loud, it is quiet, it is patience, it is faith." That evening she prayed for the last time with peace in her heart. When the sun rose the next day, the village bells rang. People gathered outside the school. The teacher who had given them everything had returned to her Creator. They buried her near the old tree where her first class had begun. The children placed flowers there and cried, but they also smiled because she had left behind more than memories. She had left a path. Years later, the school became a large institution with hundreds of students. A wide gate stood at the entrance with golden letters, "The Amina Foundation, built with courage and love." Every morning children passed under it, remembering the woman who taught them that hope is stronger than hardship and faith is greater than fear. Parents told their children about her story, the woman who lost everything but never gave up, the teacher who turned pain into purpose, the sister who built wings for others. And so her story lived on, not in books but in hearts, reminding everyone that no matter how dark life becomes, one light can still shine through, one voice can still teach, one dream can still rise from the ruins. True bravery does not come from power or wealth. It comes from a soul that refuses to give up. It comes from a woman like Amina, who proved that courage lives quietly inside the hearts that never stop believing.